Welcome to a brand new deep dive. Today, we're cracking open a really interesting new book. It's by Steve Brown called Call 911, I've Been Shot Mentally and Financially.
That's right. And, it just launched on Amazon. You can grab it on Kindle, hardcover, softcover, basically any way you like to read.
Yeah, super accessible. And what's really neat is that today, May 15th, is actually Steve's birthday.
Perfect timing then.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit of a birthday deep dive into his work. It's quite a mix, isn't it? Humor, wisdom.
Exactly. It pulls from, all over the place. Famous quotes, comedians, even biblical stuff, all aimed at, inspiring people. All ages, all backgrounds.
That combination sounds fascinating. Like putting Rodney Dangerfield next to, say, a Bible verse to talk about the same kind of life struggles.
Right. It feels very human. Like it gets that we learn in different ways. Sometimes you need a laugh to sort of open the door to the serious stuff.
Makes sense. Yeah. So our mission today then?
Okay, so our mission is to really get into that first chapter. It's called Stop Beating Yourself Up, E. We want to pull out some key takeaways, things you can, use right away.
Got it. Self-criticism. Yeah, that's a big one for so many people.
Yeah.
The chapter just puts it right out there.
It really does. And he starts with humor, which is interesting. He uses those Rodney Dangerfield lines.
Oh, yeah. Which ones?
Like, my psychiatrist told me I'm going crazy. I told him I'd like a second opinion. He said, all right, you're ugly too.
Classic Dangerfield, no respect.
Totally. And I have no self-confidence. When girls tell me yes, I tell them to think it over. It makes you laugh, but it kind of hits at those insecurities, doesn't it?
Definitely. Humor is such a great way to acknowledge something uncomfortable without it feeling too heavy straight away.
Yeah.
You laugh, and then maybe you think, yeah, I kind of feel like that sometimes.
He also throws in Milton Berle. He has a terrible inferiority complex, and he's right.
Ooh, that one's got a bit more bite to it. Still funny, but yeah, underlines how deep that stuff can run. Like we almost accept it as fact about ourselves.
And then, bam, the tone shifts. He hits you with that Michael Landon quote.
Oh, the one about dying?
Yeah. Somebody should tell us right at the start of our lives that we are dying. Then we might live life to the limit. And the call to action. Whatever you want to do, do it now. There are only so many tomorrows.
Wow. Yeah, that's a gear change. So you go from laughing at self-doubt to this, urgent reminder that time is finite.
Right. It connects the dots, Stop beating yourself up because life's too short to waste on that.
Exactly. It gives you the why. Why bother tackling those insecurities? Because there's living to do.
And that flows perfectly into the author, Steve Brown, sharing his own story, talking about being shy, bad communication skills, low self-image, things that actually cost him opportunities.
That's really key, isn't it? When an author is willing to be vulnerable like that, it makes the message, if I could do it, so can you, feel, real, believable.
Totally relatable. Then he digs into worry and regret, asking, how much time do we actually spend just worrying? How many chances slip by because we're scared?
It forces you to kind of audit your own headspace. And the line about graveyards.
Oh yeah, graveyards are full of people who spent their lives worrying. That's powerful imagery.
It really is. It makes worry seem so futile. All that energy spent on things that might never happen.
And the movie scene trial, being judged for wasting your life, that's intense.
It is intense. But it's a great way to frame it. Are you making the most of the potential you have? Not based on what others think, but your own potential.
He calls us our own worst enemy sometimes. Talks about the mental scars from beating ourselves up.
And that language, self-inflicted abuse, really makes you stop and think. We wouldn't talk to a friend that way, right? So why do we do it to ourselves?
Good point. And those questions he asks are direct. Am I living the life I was meant to live? Am I becoming the person I was created to be?
Yeah, big questions, but important ones.
But he doesn't just leave you hanging there. He says, okay, think about a dream you gave up on. What's one tiny thing you could do today?
Right, breaking it down, making it actionable. Because overwhelm is, paralyzing. A small step feels possible.
And he tackles that inner voice directly. The one that says, you're not good enough. He just flat out says,
What did it say?
That voice is lying to you. It always has been. You are good enough. Just direct.
Sometimes you need that directness, don't you? Just someone cutting through the noise and saying, nope, that's wrong. It can be incredibly validating.
Especially when followed by that thought. What if life ended tomorrow? How would you feel standing before that judge?
It adds that layer of urgency again. Stop listening to the lies now.
But then the hopeful note, you're alive, and every breath is an opportunity to rewrite your story.
Love that. It's all about the possibility of change. You're not stuck.
He uses some great quotes to illustrate missed potential, too, like Mark Twain.
Oh, the one about terrible things.
Yeah. I've been through some terrible things in my life, and some of them actually happened. It perfectly captures how much we worry unnecessarily.
It really does. Such a witty way to put it.
And that anonymous one. Man who says it can't be done should not interrupt woman who is doing it.
Huh. Yes. Love that. All about action versus negativity.
Then there are those classic prediction fails, Ken Olsen saying, no one wants a home computer.
Right. Or the guy saying the horse is here to stay, but the car is just a fad.
It's a good reminder, isn't it? How limited our own vision can be sometimes. Don't dismiss things too quickly.
Absolutely. Keeps you humble and hopefully more open-minded.
And Milton Berle again, I don't need your criticism. I have a wife and teenage daughter at home. Just that feeling of being swamped by negativity.
It's relatable, that feeling of being under fire, even if it's played for laughs.
Then the book brings in a different angle with quotes from the Bible, Matthew specifically.
About worry.
Yeah, who of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? And the one about not worrying about tomorrow because today has enough trouble.
Interesting. It connects this very modern feeling of anxiety to, well, ancient wisdom. Shows it's a long-standing human thing.
Definitely. And it ties into the power of belief. The idea that when you believe something is true, it actually becomes true for you.
That's such a critical point. Belief shapes reality. But it works both ways, right? Negative belief can trap you.
Exactly. Fear, doubt, just getting comfortable, complacency that keep you stuck. He even calls his old self sits on couch.
That's brutally honest. But again, relatable. We've all had sits on couch phases.
Then there's that great analogy, the UNLV football coach.
Oh yeah, the one who kept running the same plays even though they weren't working.
Right. And drawing the parallel to our own lives. Like, why do we keep doing things that clearly aren't getting us where we want to go?
It's the comfort zone, maybe. Fear of the unknown. It's easier to stick with the familiar, even if it's not great.
He really pushes you with those questions. How hard have you really worked? If you keep going like this, where will you be in 5 years?
Uncomfortable questions, but necessary.
Because, as he says, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Simple as that.
It really is. You have to actively choose to do things differently if you want a different outcome.
He mentions repeating mistakes, too. Brings in Proverbs.
The one about the dog.
Yeah, as a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. Pretty graphic, but it makes the point.
It certainly sticks in your mind. Underscores the, well, foolishness of not learning.
And he talks about tolerating mediocrity in our own lives. How we demand excellence from, say, sports teams, fire the coach, but accept less from ourselves.
That's a really interesting contrast. Why is that, do you think?
Maybe because personal mediocrity is quieter, easier to hide or make excuses for, blame circumstances, blame others.
Yeah, the blame game.
Yeah.
And that quote he includes, I was well informed. I could complain about any subject.
Right, like knowing all the problems, but doing nothing.
Yeah.
Just complaining.
Such an unproductive loop to be in.
He uses more humor here, too. Brian Regan realizing he needs a life after watching a fishing show.
Huh. Or living life on the edge of the couch.
Yeah. Roseanne Barr saying the man of your dreams turns into a reclining chair that burps.
Oh, dear.
And that really stark one, he died at 20 but was buried at 70.
Wow. That just paints a picture of a life basically unlived, doesn't it? Just existing, not engaging.
Exactly. It's a warning against that kind of passive existence.
Then he quotes George Washington Carver, 99% of failures come from people who have the habit of making excuses.
Spot on. And Churchill, on endless meetings leading to failure before doing what was obvious all along, it points to a lack of discipline, right?
Yeah, self-discipline seems to be a core theme. Having good ideas isn't enough. You need the discipline to actually follow through.
He even uses a drill sergeant quote, "Get your cranium out of your rectum."
Subtle. But yeah, a blunt call to change your perspective and get moving.
It talks about how people can stay the same for years, just getting older, not better or wiser.
And learning from mistakes, yours and others. A wise person learns from their mistake, but a truly wise person learns from the mistakes of others.
Good one. Saves you some pain if you can manage it.
Definitely.
Okay, then there's that extended story, the tale of the two graduates.
Right, same GPA, totally different backgrounds, one rich kid, one from a tough neighborhood.
And it flips the script on who might actually be better equipped for life. The rich kid might have stuff, but maybe lacks grit, discipline, people skills, because things were too easy.
Whereas the kid who struggled might have built resilience, character, knows how to work hard, knows how to deal with people. Things the single mom instilled.
Exactly. It's not about the circumstances you're born into, necessarily. It's about the mindset, the habits, the character you build.
It really emphasizes that inner foundation over external advantages.
Which leads right into the Tiger Woods and LeBron James comparison.
Yeah, same birthday, same ethnicity initially, Nike deals, but very different paths and public personas.
Woods, more privileged background. James, much tougher start. Yet James is often held up as a model of integrity, while Woods had those major scandals.
It reinforces that same point. It's not where you start, it's the choices you make, the character you cultivate, what you do with what you're given.
Makes you think about what lessons we're passing on too, especially to kids. Are we building character or just focusing on material stuff?
Such a crucial question. Because, as the book concludes in this section, the real key isn't wealth, it's values, it's wisdom.
He quotes Proverbs again. Blessed is the man who finds wisdom, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better return than gold.
Beautiful. And that Ethiopian proverb is a final thought. Give advice. If people don't listen, let adversity teach them.
A bit sobering, but true sometimes. Experience can be a harsh teacher if we don't listen to wisdom first.
Indeed.
Now, just to give everyone a bit more flavor of the book overall, there's this great bit from the back cover of Call 911.
Oh, yeah. What does it say?
Steve Brown basically says practical life skills are way more important than, academic stuff for actual success and happiness. He jokes about not needing to know what an adverb is compared to learning about life itself.
I like that. It really nails the book's whole approach, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Practical, maybe a bit blunt, funny, but focused on what actually helps you navigate life well.
Totally. So wrapping up our deep dive on this first chapter of Call 911, I've been shot mentally and financially. First off, happy birthday again to Steve Brown. And congrats on the book. Remember, it's out on Amazon now. Kindle, hardcover, softcover.
We've covered a lot. Beating self-criticism, living with urgency, believing in yourself, taking responsibility, the importance of character. Some really powerful themes packed in there.
Definitely know it's given you some food for thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's a final thought for you to take away. Think about just one area, maybe, where you tend to beat yourself up, or maybe where you've settled for good enough when you know you could aim higher. Based on everything we've talked about today, what's one small concrete action you could take, right now, today, to start shifting that?
Just one small step.
Exactly, because it really is your story to write, starting whenever you decide.
Trump did it.